Alright, we're back with another YouTube video. Today is going to be very different. Not just taking you through one day of my workout routine, but I'm actually taking you through the routine that I followed while I was traveling for about a week and a half. This week and a half was focused just on maintenance, no gain, no decline, but just staying right where we are. Hotel gyms are obviously pretty frustrating as they have a lack of weights, a lack of machines, which could be pretty unmotivating for someone if they want to work out while they're traveling. But let me show you how I altered my workout routine very slightly to be able to adapt to the hotel gym setting. Don't let your environment determine your results. So let's get right into it. On the first day, walking into the gym, and to be honest, this is not really exciting. You got 2 racks of dumbbells ranging from about 2 kilograms to 30 kilograms, which in pounds is 4 pounds to about 66 pounds. Honestly, you can't expect much more out of hotel gym. So we're gonna go with that saying. We're not gonna let our environment determine our results. And I'm gonna show you how I did legs and shoulders in this hotel gym. We're starting out with dumbbell RDLs. This exercise is really important for the hamstrings, obviously. Here, the max I could go was 30 kilograms, which is about 66 pounds. So the alteration I made was just changing my tempo ever so slightly. What I found was that this actually really helped me feel the exercise in my hamstring muscles a lot more. I tend to feel that when I progress in weight too heavy on RDLs, too heavy, too fast, that's when I start losing that feeling in my RDLs. I can't really feel the hamstring stretch out and contract at the top. You really want to get that good stretch on the hamstring, as it is the bicep of the leg. The stretch really does matter a lot. So fortunately, they did have a quad extension machine, which we used pretty well. The weights on this one are pretty funky too, so I had to test it out and then changed it based on the fact that it was way too heavy. But again, same thing here. You want to focus on getting the leg as straight as possible so you can get the best contraction at the peak of the rep. Next was the most dreaded part of the whole hotel gym experience. Usually I use 60-pound dumbbells, 50 to 60-pound dumbbells on Bulgarian split squats. The dumbbells went from 20 kilograms to 30 kilograms. So it's either I do 44 pounds or I do 66 pounds. A little bit above my typical weight, but I decided to take it for a ride, and boy, this was not fun at all. They also did have a yoga ball, fortunately, so we were able to do yoga ball hamstring curls. As I've explained before, I like to pair my workouts as supersets. So here I'm doing Bulgarian split squats with yoga ball hamstring curls. One is primarily quad dominant, one is primarily hamstring dominant, one is pretty heavy in weight, and one has no weight at all. I like to keep this contrast with the exercises in my superset so that one is pretty heavy, it really pushes your muscles, and then one gives you a break while also working the muscles but not providing that same amount of resistance or tension provided by a large external weight. Here's where I had to make my first big adaptations. Usually I do a seated calf raise. This time they didn't have a seated calf raise machine, but they did have a leg press machine. So what we did was we just did some seated calf raises on the leg press machine. If you want to keep a similar workout routine while you're traveling and you're only using the hotel gym, adaptations like this is what you're going to have to do. Moving on to shoulders, our preset routine is kind of pretty awkward here. It is late night. Here we're just doing dumbbell shoulder press. Up until now, I was doing my dumbbell shoulder press with a completely upright bench, just a 90-degree angle, the bench going straight up. I honestly didn't think that the angle of the bench moving back slightly would make any difference at all, but I did see a post from one of my old strength coaches, Frankie Gregor, and he does tell you how there's a little bit of relief on the back, especially the lower back, and it is overall better for your shoulders if you do put the bench back a little bit instead of keeping it completely upright. So that's what I did here, and I was able to move 30-kilogram dumbbells pretty well. Here we got another staple, the bent over rear delt rows. I like to keep my workouts pretty dumbbell heavy, which is pretty good for a hotel gym. Most hotel gyms have dumbbells, so it's a great sign. Ignore the pool of sweat on my back. Here we got lateral raises for the side delts, wherever they got dumbbells, I'm gonna get a good workout in. So this is the second day of my workout routine. Second day is chest and triceps. We're starting off here with the incline dumbbell press. Now again here, I had to use the 30 kilogram dumbbells, which is a downgrade in weight for me. It's about 66, 65 pounds. But this actually really helped me because I was able to really focus a lot of tension on my upper chest here. And I was able to really feel the stretch and the contraction in the upper chest muscle. So sometimes lowering weight is actually a good thing, and it can actually teach you a lot. So next, I'm trying to do like a machine fly. This machine is kind of peculiar, so I guess I'm just doing a pressing movement. I tried to make it as much like a fly as I could. By focusing on pushing my elbows into the wall, I tried to simulate a fly movement with this exercise. Next, we have the dumbbell pullover. This one was especially tricky with 30 kilogram dumbbell. Usually I use 50 pounds, so it was a little upgrade in weight. Next, we're back on this pressing machine, just trying a different handle setting. They didn't have any cables, so I couldn't do any cable flies, which I was pretty sad about, but we gotta make it work. Last but not least for chest, I had to use the Smith machine to do some incline Smith machine chest press. Here I typically go pretty light on weights so I can just rep it out. Alright, so now we're going into triceps. To be honest, I lied earlier in the video. They did have cable machines, but they were just for lat pull downs. But they did have this attachment, this rope attachment. So I tried to make it work for triceps, and I gotta say, it wasn't the best. But they did have dumbbells again, so I did do some great dumbbell tricep kickbacks, a staple in my tricep workout. So the next tricep workout of my routine is a single arm cable extension. Here I'm having a little trouble with the cable, so this is where creativity pays off. I found a box and I put it right in front of the machine so that I can get the cable going all the way down and I can get a full contraction in my tricep muscle. Next, we have dumbbell tricep overhead extensions. This I also use the 30 kilogram dumbbells for, and this was not easy as well. But I love a challenge, and sometimes hotel gyms just push you into that challenge. Last but not least, in the workout routine, we have back and bicep day. To start off my back and bicep days, I love to do pull-ups. Here, I had to get really creative. They had no pull-up bars, so I had to use the Smith machine. So as I said before, they did have the lat pull down cable machine, so I was able to use that for a lot of my back exercises. We're starting out with single arm cable lat pull downs. They also did have this nice machine row, which was honestly a little uncomfortable, but it worked. Next, we just went into standard wide grip lat pull downs. This one I had to alter a little bit. They didn't have a neutral grip bar, so I had to use the normal bar. Honestly, a pretty similar feeling in the lats. I did put this in an Instagram and a YouTube short post before. The position of your hand doesn't really matter in a lat pull down. It's all working the lat muscle. Don't focus on that, but just focus on getting a really good stretch and a really good contraction at the bottom of the rep. They did have the lat pull down cable machine, but they didn't have a seated row cable machine, so I had to make one of my own. I found a band and there was a bench in the Smith machine, so I moved it to just outside the Smith machine, tied the bench to a bar on the Smith machine, and did some seated low rows with a band DIY. Next, after the wide grip cable lat pull down, we have to go into the wide grip alternating cable lat pull down. Again, they didn't have any cable machine, so I had to use a band for lat pull throughs. This one honestly worked pretty well. Just a big difference in tension points with a band and a cable. A cable provides solid tension at the bottom and the top of the rep. A band provides tension pretty much throughout the rep, and the tension increases as the band stretches. Last but not least, we have dumbbell shrugs. This one, I also used the 30 kilogram dumbbells. Sorry, I lied. I meant last superset, but this is the last back exercise. We had to mix in face pulls. Again, we used the band, no cables. This one was pretty tough to work around. Cables are obviously better for this type of exercise, but the band is a pretty solid alternative. Next, we're going into biceps. If they got dumbbells, you know I'm doing incline dumbbell curls for biceps. And I did do other bicep exercises, but unfortunately it got cut short. Not everyone's a fan of people filming in the gym. People just want to work out by themselves and not have any cameras attracting around them. And honestly, I get that. I honestly like filming in the gym. I'm able to see what I'm doing right and I'm doing wrong. For some people, it's a different approach to filming in the gym, and I respect that. So we had to cut the bicep workout, the videotaping of the bicep workout, a little short, but I did show you some of the major adaptations and alterations that I made to my workout. Some changes in tempo, some changes in equipment, and some creativity. Anyone can get a good workout in. Where there's a will, there's a way. We don't want our environment to determine our results. Mediocre equipment does not mean a mediocre workout. So if you like this video, you got all the way to the end, or you're traveling soon, share this video, like, subscribe, follow a couple of these adaptations to make your hotel gym workouts as good as they can be. And again, just don't let your environment determine your results.